What's going on, viewers? It is I, your favorite gamer, 99 Cent McFury here, back with another stream for you guys. First, I would like to say, I don't know where y'all located, but the weather is beautiful today. I'm in Illinois. Finally, the weather's starting to change up. But we are here now. So, today's topic, priced out and the cost of gaming. So, before we get started, quick introduction to myself. I go by the name of 99 Cent McFury, professional gamer for over 25 years, current head esports coach for College of Lake County, former esports coach of Kishwaukee University. Also, for all my gamers who want to improve as far as becoming a better gamer, want to achieve success through gaming, trying to figure out if there's any career opportunities in gaming and what have you, or trying to get better as a player in general, check out my website, 99centmcfury.com. It's only 99 cents to subscribe. I will definitely help you out in regards to that. So be sure to check out my website. Also, got to give a shout out to one of our sponsors, Bay State Financial. So financial planning, you're never too young to start doing that. So the earlier the better. Investment management, risk management. But financial planning is the future, okay? So it should be taught in schools. Unfortunately, it's not. So you have to take initiative and do that on your own. And Bay State Financial can help with that. So with that being said, let's get started. Now, for those who are gamers like myself, I've been gaming for quite some time. So I've seen the ups and downs of gaming when it comes to pricing, okay? There's been a lot of speculation going around about upcoming consoles. Nintendo Switch 2, for example, and the price of it. People are barking and chit-chatting about the pricing of it. You want to blame it to tariffs, whatever the case may be, right? But you got to understand, things are getting more expensive. We're never going back to the early 90s with prices and everything like that. Everything is going up. And that includes entertainment and hobbies, right? Gaming is no exception to that. So we're going to dig deep a little bit, go into some history of the actual pricing of certain consoles and gaming, thanks to Google, and seeing if there's really a change throughout history for the cost of gaming, or is it just speculation, just something to talk about? So with that being said, we got to break down a little bit. So first thing is the cost, right? So according to Google, the average gamer spends around $84 a month, okay? Now that can be buying games, that can be maintenance costs, that can be getting a new controller, what have you. You know, instead of fixing what's wrong, we tend to just get a brand new controller. So if you're constantly buying games every month, it can be one game, a brand new game that gets released, or it can be multiple games just at a cheaper price, you know, like a couple $20 games because they go on sale or what have you. So, but it looks like the average is $84 a month, okay? Now, as far as the consoles are concerned, Google is great for listing these things here as well. So it looks like the consoles between 1970 and 1980 was Atari, which launched in 1977. It ranged at $199. Now they even give the equivalent to this. So the equivalent to that in today's dollar would be $1,034, which is insane to me. So that's how much $199 back then was actually worth in today's day and age. There's no console out right now that is going for $1,034. You're better off just getting a custom PC. You can get a PC for that amount, a decent one. 1980, Intellivision. I don't even know what the hell that is. So anybody watching in the comments, put in the comments what the hell that is. I was born in '83. So I don't even know what the heck that is. I know what an Atari is, of course. But Intellivision, even that was going for $299. Today's day would be $1,209. That's pretty steep for something I've never even heard of. So there's another one. I can't even pronounce that. ColecoVision? I don't know what that is. That came out in 1982, $175. Okay. Now the 90s, this is my era. It's where I grew up. They bypassed NES for some reason on here, but Super NES. It launched in 1991. It retailed for $199, which is equivalent to $400 in today's day. So it's still $199. $199 was the peak price of things. Now, it didn't skyrocket until PlayStation came out. Looks like PlayStation, it was $299 when it was released, which is equivalent to $622 in today's market. Nintendo 64 launched. It came out at $199.99. So Nintendo was pretty much on par with the $199.99 price. Was like, okay, that's the standard. You know, regardless of where we're going, that's the standard. PlayStation came out, they said, nah, we need an extra $100, $299. Because we got compact discs, we're using CDs now. We're not using cartridges and 8-bit, 16-bit, 32-bit. They started setting the trend, it looks like. It's like, nah, $299. You go up into the 2000s. GameCube, another Nintendo console. They started using CDs too, but it was a little bit smaller. Released in 2001. They still kept the price at $199. Still. Xbox came out, $299. So they were probably following what PlayStation was doing. Okay, we're competing with PlayStation. We need to keep up with at least keep the same pricing. PlayStation 3 comes out. That launched in 2006. It jumped to $499. Why did they do that? Maybe because they were offering Blu-ray and DVDs. It probably because it was open region for most of them, the original version, where you can like play games from other, countries, like Japanese games on your PS3. It wasn't region locked. At least the original one wasn't, to my knowledge. But they jumped it up. So it looked like PlayStation was the one that was setting the trend of like increasing the cost of consoles, right? That's just me just speaking based off of what I'm seeing here. Nintendo Wii came out 2006. It was $249 at launch. Xbox 360 came out 2005, $299. So between Xbox and Sony, they were sticking with that $299. Nintendo Wii came out. They were like, yeah, we gotta up the ante a little bit too. $250. Now, mind you, these aren't bad prices in my opinion. To be fair, but that's not where the cost hits you guys at. That's how they get you in. They're like, ooh, new console? Oh, that's dirt cheap. Let me get that. The cost of the games is where they get you. They're like $60, $70. And you're buying multiple at a time. So that's where it adds up real quick. Goes down to 2010, between 2010 and 2020. Here we go again. Who's setting the trend? PlayStation. It's another decade. We got another console. We need to up it up. Instead of $299, now it's $399 for PS4. Xbox One came out 2013. They're like, yeah, we're going to one-up you guys, $499. We're like, whoa. Okay. Nintendo Switch, $299. So Nintendo's been like, for a while, the cheaper console to buy. And I'm gonna be honest, as a consumer, that's how it was. Like, I didn't have the money to like just drop that immediately, but I need to play something. So I'll get a Nintendo Switch, you know? So, and I'm not the only one that's thinking like that. A lot of people, depending on when the release date is, because nobody, let's be honest, nobody sits here and saves money for a console, right? I've been gaming all my life. I've never had any of my peers, nobody's ever come to me, hey, you saving up for that PS6 when it comes out? Like, nobody does that, So it's just when they released it, you either have the funds to buy it or you don't. Nobody's sitting there waiting for that. But now, if you look at it here, PlayStation 5, $499.99. Xbox Series X, $499.99. Nintendo Switch 2, expected to launch this year. Potential price, $449. So when it comes to the consoles, it looks like for whatever particular reason, Sony has been the trendsetter of increasing the pricing, and then Xbox follows, and then Nintendo slowly like creeps up from behind and says, yeah, we're not gonna, what your guys is offering, we're not gonna offer that. We can't offer that in our console, so it's only fair to do it maybe like $100 cheaper or $150 or $50 cheaper. So, but based off of this, when PlayStation 6 comes out, I guarantee you it's gonna be like $800, $899.99. Then Xbox gonna follow, $899.99. At that point, you might as well get a gaming PC, in my opinion. So, but yeah, so that's for those who aren't as old as I am and wanted to know like the pricing. This is how much it is. So to be fair, it hasn't really fluctuated too significantly when you really look at the history of it. It's been $199 for quite some time, then $299, then $399, then $499, and then they just skipped $5. They were like, $5.99, that don't even sound right. Let's just do $6.99. So, but at the same time, the pricing of the games haven't really changed as much either. When you look back in the history, they've always been around 50 and up, between 50 and 70, unless you catch it on sale or it's like not a popular game or what have you. So now with the pricing, where they get you at, this is where the expensive part comes in. The initial fee at this point, if you're an adult, it shouldn't be that much expensive to you initially to get the console. If you're a kid, you don't even have to worry about that anyways. Your parents are taking care of that, so you don't even care. You're like, I don't care how much it costs. This is what it is. I want it. Santa Claus, birthday, Where it gets pricey is the stuff on the back end that adds up really, really quick. For example, like playing online. Now they're getting away from physical games and going more digital. In order to play digitally, you gotta have their services to play your friends online. And that's where they get you. They get you with the microtransactions. You start to the customization of the characters in the game, right? For example, my daughter plays Fortnite, and I don't even want to think about how much money I gave to her for V-Bucks. Like $20 here, $20 there. She's been playing that game for years. I that money I could have put a down payment on a house by the time I'm really thinking about it. But that's how they get you. They shortchange you here and there, But that's the microtransactions on there. The DLC content, that starts to add up. And with this generation, that's the norm. They're used to that. That's all they know. For me, it's hard for someone my age to justify why I'm buying skins, or to justify why I'm purchasing DLC characters in a fighting game for characters I'm not even going to play. I just play the vanilla roster. You know, stuff like that. So that's why I'm able to speak on this, because I'm looking back like, yo, they're making a killing, and it's only going to go up. Only going to go up. Now, where they also hit you at where it's pricey is if you decide to compete in tournaments, fighting game community, for example. So it's going up every year. Every year. There's some players that I sponsor, and some of them, some peers that I know, and they're like, yo, man, I can't be playing in these majors like this. You know, you can be out $200-300 before you even know who you're even playing. You know, because of the venue fees and the games that you're entering in, and if you want a custom badge, whatnot. Gaming is no longer, you know, entertainment now. It's actually a business, and you have to pay to play in a lot of these things now. So you can still play casually or whatnot, but it costs for you to play in tournaments. It costs for you to play with your buddies online. It costs for you to play to even keep up with some of the games, to complete the games, because some games they come out and partially complete. So it costs. It really does. So that's something you gotta take in consideration longevity-wise. As much as I love to game, all my games that I have outside of like what I'm competing in, that's like the bare minimum. I don't, you gotta catch me when it's on a sale. You know, you can be like, hey coach, you gotta play this game. Everybody's playing this game. Y'all have fun. I don't have the time or the disposable income to just get that game to play with y'all. I'm straight. I'd rather we meet somewhere at a restaurant and you could talk about how fun that game is to me in the group, and I'll talk about it like I'm there playing with y'all. But I'm not dropping $70 on a game I don't have time to play. You know, so and then you're paying in other ways too, not necessarily financially. You know, the time that you put into these games. And you got to think about that too. You know, you spend all this money, all this time playing these games just for them to release another one next year, or the game dies down because nobody's playing it, so the servers go down. Like, you can't get that time back. So, you know, just be mindful of the cost that you're putting in personally in a particular game that you're investing in, because you don't get that time or money back. You know, so if Steam goes bankrupt for whatever reason, you ain't getting that money back. That money's gone. You know, those games you invested, everything that you put in there, gone. You know, so that comes at a cost. You know, just the hours that you're putting in and playing also. And then, like I said, tournament-wise, it's a cost too. So, and then also, let me just say this for any ladies that are watching and they got a boyfriend that games. Like, if your man is gaming, like, leave him alone. You know, like, just he's got to get his money's worth out of this game that he bought. I know y'all don't care how much he paid for it, but like, this stuff is not cheap. You know, he's got to get his money's worth. He's putting especially if he's gaming online with his buddies, he's got to pay for the internet. He's got to pay for the service to play on the internet, the game that he's playing he had to pay for, the controller, headset. He ain't really trying to just let him be. Just let him be for those hours that he's playing, you know. Even if he's playing every day, Just let him be. Just give him his peace, and just give him a time limit, I guess. However the case may be. But he's gonna play that game. That money he's put into it, and then especially if he's making money from that, also that's what he's gonna be. He's gonna be doing. He's trying to get his return of investment on there. So, also, another reason why I believe games, like the average person's going to get priced out of gaming and why it's going up and it's not coming down, is there's an article here that I found. I'm not really sure how credible it is, but we're just going to take it for face value. This breaks down developers and their hourly wages per country. India, 29 per hour. East Europe, 55 per hour. Western Europe, 66 per hour. UK, 70 per hour. US, $100 per hour for a developer. I don't know if that's still valid nowadays. This article was written in January of this year, so I'm pretty sure you can get this data maybe through the US Census or whatnot. But it says right here through Glassdoor, PayScale, and ZipRecruiter. So those are career places where you can see the salary range. So we'll roll with that. But $100 an hour, that's quite hefty. And then when you scroll down here, as far as the average cost to make a video game, it says right here, the price of an indie game can range from $50,000 to $500,000. AAA titles are the most expensive with cost of $20 million to $300 million in development and equally massive budgets for marketing. So this is predominantly why, in my opinion, these games are at the price that they are. We're going to see $100 games pretty soon. Mark my word. In about the next 5 years, about 5 years, we're going to see games at $100. And it's going to be slow. It's not going to be like how it is now from $50 to $70 and then $100. Nah. It's going to be a gradual shift. Right now, 60, 70 range, because now like the controllers are that. I'm like, damn, a controller, like 60, 70 bucks, a quality one? It's crazy to me. But we're gonna see the rise of that. When GTA 6 comes out, I don't know how much that game is going to be. I don't think people are going to care. They're gonna buy the game. The game will probably be $100. It's worth more than $100. Like, if it drops for $100, it's gonna sell, regardless. But yeah, this is the peak right here of, in my opinion, why the games cost so much, why they're gonna increase. So, and to be honest, it might, with AI and coding, a lot of AI is gonna create shortcuts. So I think it's gonna come back up to here, like where it's gonna be $100 an hour. It might drop to maybe 80 or 70, just because a lot of the skill sets can be shortcutted through AI. Prime example, like I coded a whole game in like 25 minutes with AI. It's like a simple Tetris game, but it was ridiculous on how fast I could just do that. So I believe with AI, it's gonna help with cost in making it, which unfortunately means layoffs and stuff like that. But I think that's gonna help with the cost of a lot of these games. And then as far as the budget, I don't know what they budget and market for gaming nowadays, but we can't really use that as an excuse now for the cost of the game, because you can just hit up streamers and pro players, and you can have them market the game for you. So, but I'm starting to see games like what was it, WrestleMania, that new King of Fighters game. So like they're putting a lot of money into marketing in different ways. So, but we'll see. But yeah, that's my prediction. I'm not really here to discourage anyone watching this about gaming, but just trying to inform you all and just know that it costs. It costs the game. And people are being priced out of this all the time. Some of my homeboys like, bro, I don't even game anymore. I don't have time, dude. I'm putting all that money in it and I don't have time to play, dude. Like, just hit me up and we'll do something outside, you know? So, for us older cats, my age, that's kind of the mindset a lot of them have. The last 2 generations, they're born into this. They don't know anything else. So this is normal for them, as far as I'm concerned. But just understand that it costs. It costs, and it's only going up. And you're gonna have to be able to fund your hobbies and entertainment, you know, with gaming. So with that being said, leave a comment, like, share. Do you think the pricing of gaming is too expensive? Am I you know, tripping? But be sure to like, subscribe. Stay tuned for my next stream. This is 99 Cent McFury, your favorite gamer, and I'm out.